Oh, yes. What is cracking? Oh, yeah. Are you lot ready for Friday night with Beer Buddy? Let's do it. Oh, it's going to be good. What is going on, you absolute legends? Tonight, yes, we're back. We're doing it. We're kicking it off for tonight with Johan Danno. We're calling him in Australia now from the South Florida, West Palm Beach. Let's get into it. Let's have a chat. Let's introduce him. Yes, Johan Danno. Good, man. How are you? Good. I'm just going to... Oh, man, I'm just so happy to see you. And I don't know... Yeah, that's awesome, man. Like, just... How are you?
Doing awesome, man. It's been a busy week. Here, I'm going to close the door so there's a little more privacy. One sec.
Yeah.
Perfect. So that way the neighbors don't hear our awesome conversation. It's been a busy week, man, but really excited. They're slowly opening up live music again, man. And above that, it's a good night to be out, giving some love, talking to you, and, sharing love to people around the world. Whoever's tuning in, aho, and mahalos. Let's have a good one.
Man, I'm keen and it's so good to see you tonight, dude, really. Mate, you're coming off the back end of, well, I guess the front end. You've just thrown yourself on that new mix EP for the island.
I just released Islands, and that was a song I've had for a while. It was one of the first songs I wrote back in Florida, and it was my brother's favorite in Hawaii, so many people's favorite, and I didn't release it, and then it just came to the point, I know, and there was so much stress and pressure where COVID's brought a lot of people, I'd say into a fear state. And I was like, man, the best thing I could do now is release a song with some good vibes, some good Hawaiian island style vibes to remind people, life is meant to be celebrated. And, might as well sit back, relax, and live aloha.
Man, 100%. I couldn't agree more. And we do need that at the moment, especially us over here in Sydney, where we're just still stuck inside. We've got a little bit of freedom at the moment, but none at the moment. No. But we'll get it eventually. But you also did What Are We Fighting For? You done a video for that, and I've got to say the video was pretty good.
Oh, thanks, lads. Yeah, that video was awesome because it was, we had a whole collection of people for the day, and then a lot of people couldn't come, and the last people we got were just incredible. It's funny how that always works out. Like, you try to have things go to plan, but when they don't, they go perfectly to the divine plan, man. Yeah. It was such a fun 2 days.
Oh, man, it looked like you actually had a lot of fun in that, man. Are you enjoying Australia? How long have you actually been kicking around doing the music over here, man?
Oh, well, when I first got to Australia 2010, I was busking like Melbourne and Sydney. I actually stopped in Sydney for a little bit. Down in Manly, and then I would say I didn't really cut my chops until it was Nobby's Beach. I was playing it was called the Cave, and I used to play there heaps, and we'd play there every Sunday. So that was like 2012, and I would say 2014 was when I went full time, when I quit my corporate job, and 2015 was just really diving straight into the world of music in Australia, man.
That's awesome, man. So you actually picked it all up over here. Well, not picked it all up. You actually took off the career over here.
Yeah, it was, in Florida was where I got my training wheels. I had my first band in college. And then actually the first show we ever played, funny story, was talent show when I was in 7th grade. I didn't even sing it, and our singer was so terrified. He was singing like All the Small Things by Blink-182, and he was just in the corner like shaking, couldn't even sing. So I'm like running over, like singing the song and lyrics with him.
Oh, mate, that's it. Good on you, dude. Good on ya. Man, it's so refreshing to hear your music. I'm so happy that, you know, Karen from MMK. Big shout out to her and the MMK promotions crew.
Cheers, Kaz.
Yes, cheers. Big cheers to Kaz. For getting us in touch, because she showed me your music, man, and it's really special. You can see you take a lot of time and effort. And one thing I'm interested in though is, do you write all this stuff on your own, or is there like a collaboration process that you go through with other musicians, or what's the actual process that you take?
So I would say I write on my own, but it's never really on your own when you write. A lot of my music, like I'll be listening to my favorite acts, like, you know, Fighting For at the time I was listening to, I think it was Damian Marley, Dirty Heads, Sublime. I was listening to a lot of different music that it kind of directed me, you know, and inspired. And Fighting For, crazy story about that song. When I wrote it, it was ad-libbed. I made it up. And it was after a night we went out and we were at this bar in Surfers. We were drinking, you know, doing the normal thing when you're young and youthful. And this guy was just arguing with everybody, just fighting with everybody. And when we got back to the house, I totally forgot. My friend Brody filmed me singing Fighting For and just messing around and actually just making up the lyrics. And he had it on his phone for a year. And yeah, we caught up and he's like, dude, you should check this song out that you recorded. And I'm like, oh, okay. Cause I write so many songs. You know, I have about like 90 songs in my phone that I've recorded and I haven't released. I got so many songs I write. Because I just believe you got to constantly be constantly creating new music, new art, new experiences. But when he played it back for me, it was that funny moment where I was like, oh my gosh, this is actually a kick-ass song. And that's when I'm like, I was in the studio. Yeah, that's when I was in the studio. I was like, I worked tirelessly. I'm taking it back from Byron, letting all my friends hear it. They're like, yeah, that's good, but change this. Like, so that was the only co-writes I had, was my friends at the time just telling me yay or nay or do this or that.
Man, that's awesome. That's so good. I love how you've just taken that funny situation and actually made it into an actually banging track. It's a really good song. It's mate, it's a good song. What could I say?
Hey, do you want me to I could do a quick live version of it if you want.
Man, why not? If you, we're getting our first live piece. Mate, Johan Danno, what a legend. Let's hear it. I'm just going to turn this down. Go on, give it to us, mate.
For the rich man torn in between all the things he sees or all he believes. Build the right crystal, not on the side. Live to the rise of justice, unite. Die for that sin, or giving in. Sin after money, or after woman. Just fight for a right, to fight so I can. Good lies in her children till there's no left. She cannot rely, these words are seen. Truth is revealed in this belief. Closing the door, knowing for sure. Time we sail, what are we fighting for? Oh, I said, what are we dying for? Say, what are we fighting for? Yeah. What are we dying for? Yeah. Well, it's a beautiful Friday night, sitting with beer bud. We're on the live stream. I hope you're having a good vibe. Vibration, because it's a good time to be alive. It's the worst decision in your life to realize that you control your mind. The situation is so divine. It's the perfect time to sit back, relax, and unwind, because we're here to show you the good vibes flowing from my words at all. What are we fighting for? I said, what are we dying for? So what are we fighting for? So what are we dying for? So what are we fighting for? Where you see it's fake news and they say you can't believe anything you hear. But I just believe that love will save us. And it's a good vibration here with my friend Beer Bud. Sharing some good vibes and love. So what are we fighting for? What are we dying for? What are we fighting for? So what are we dying for? So what are we fighting for? Do we know who's keeping score?
Woo! Boy, you got shot. Oh, that was unreal. Thank you so much for that
I can't hear
gift.
you.
Thank you so much for that gift.
Yeah,
Thank you so
there you
much for
go.
that gift. I didn't have my arm down. I didn't want to throw you out. Oh, that was amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. That was unreal.
Now you got a little throwback. You can use that
Oh,
anytime.
100%. 100%. When I said this to you after we're done, you can do what you want with it too.
That's what she said.
No. Yeah, 100%. 100%, man.
This is a family channel.
No, it is not. I drink beer and
Oh, that's right.
it's after 9 o'clock and the kids are in bed. Say what the fuck you want.
Yeah, let's adult hard, baby.
Exactly, man. Exactly. Thank you. That was unreal. You busted the Beer Buddy live cherry. First live show, man. That gets a...
I gave you a little bit of
Oh, dude. I want to know where you recorded, because I was listening to your recordings before I do these things. I like to really listen to the music, and your recordings are very crisp. Your recordings are very, very crisp.
Yeah.
Where did you do those immaculate recordings?
So I recorded. Those recordings were done in Byron Bay with Garrett Cato. He's a great songwriter, great producer as well. We recorded in his house at the time with his family upstairs. So yeah, it was pretty. He just works so meticulously. I've worked with a lot of producers and people in my life, and he was just like, he was someone that really held space for me when I was trying to figure out. Like, I left my covers gigs and I was doing originals. I was just in that transition, from doing like 5 shows a week of cover gigs to, I'll do my original music. And I went through a lot of producers that tried so many times. I was always stressed. And the second I met him, he just made me relaxed. And I went in to record originally. It was 3 or 4 songs, just kick, drum, and guitar. And we wound up doing a whole album and doing all the instrumentation. I did the bass. He did all the piano and all the things. It was, very, 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 very taken back by what we created, because I really enjoyed it. And yeah, he definitely taught me a lot in a time that was very crucial in my life.
Man, it was, like I said, it was a very, very crisp recording, very well written. It's the genuine works of art. And you should be proud of it, man. You should be very, very proud of the stuff that you brought out. You said you were in a covers band. What covers band?
Yeah, I did lots of covers. Well, I was at the time, I had a 2-year residency up here at this place called Melba's, Longboards. I was playing lots of cover songs from current to classics and just paying rent, paying rent and playing wherever I could, play. And a lot of them were like, oh, you need to play covers. So I was like, oh, well, if I got to do what I got to do to pay rent and get my music out,
Yeah, covers is money. Covers is money in Australia. Like, Aussies love cover bands. Like, we love cover bands.
Well, the same as in Florida, man. Florida is there's tribute bands in Florida, and they make some of the most money out of anybody.
Well, it's actually funny you say that, because one of the guys that I work with, a former guy that used to have my job or have the job at my place, is now lead singer in an AC/DC cover band, and now he doesn't have to work anymore. He pretty much just does that. Obviously, now that COVID's hit, it's probably a different ball game in Sydney, but he just plays in an AC/DC cover band.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. You make good money doing that. It's people, actually, I had a chat with my friend about this who does covers in Florida. And what we realized is that in life, you get to a certain age, and it's not that you stop listening to music, but it's more like life gets heavy things happen. You get families, jobs, all these things happen. So when you hear those songs from your childhood or those back in the day, it brings back those youthful memories. It brings back that time in your life, you know?
It's that serotonin that we crave and those memories.
Yeah.
It's actually funny you say that. Have you ever heard of a documentary called The Musical Brain?
Yeah, I have heard of it, but I haven't seen it yet.
You should watch it. They actually talk about how music works on dementia patients. And obviously, dementia would be a very touchy subject for some people. But they talk about how I think they put dementia patients in CT scanners or something like that and play music.
Yeah.
And then see how their brain reacts to the music that they used to listen to, and it reacts. Well, the chemical reaction in the brain is just phenomenal from the music that they used to listen to. It just brings something back. But shows. Come on, man.
Well, I was gonna say on dementia real quick. My grandmother, she passed away from dementia. And,
I'm sorry to hear that.
This is no, it's all right. This is the last line she wrote to me. Please keep well, keep playing, and keep loving. We wrote letters together, and she was a concert pianist. She was a concert pianist that played. She's the one that she paid for my music lessons, and when I first started, Christmas time, we'd sit around the piano and sing Christmas songs. And that's what got me into doing music and being a musician.
Man, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And like, man, you like I said, you can really hear there's a lot of your music's very deep, and I like that.
Thanks,
your
brother.
music's very deep, man, and I like that. It's it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Do you do that whole loop pedal thing? Do you like because or do you actually bring a band out with you, and like if you do a live show, will you bring a band out, or will you just do solo acoustic?
Oh yeah. Yeah, like the show coming up, we have September 5th in Brisbane at Woolly Mammoth. That one I'll have a 3-piece, a trio band.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, usually, and if I play solo, I have like a massive kick drum, and I play guitar and harmonica and sing, so I do it all at once.
Oh, nice. That's a talent, man.
So,
that's a talent.
It's a skill developed over years of sucking or months of attempting and then getting better every time. And your roommates are people. Be okay with it. You know, that's what it is at the end of the day.
Well, I showed you my one. I'm not going to play it in front of people. But I do have I do have the harp. I do have the harmonica. But I will not be playing it on stream because I already don't have many viewers. So I don't need any less. When I get good at it, I'll have a crack.
Yeah, the key is like you do the straw. You close your mouth like a straw.
Yeah.
So you go.
Oh God! I think years of smoking has just demolished my lungs for that. They just look hard.
No, the key is just like it's almost like you're kissing the harmonica, and that was a trick a blues musician taught me in New Orleans. He would say, close your mouth up, make it really small, and then play it like you're blowing each reed like it's an individual note on the scale.
That's awesome. I'm gonna hit you up. I'm gonna hit you up for a lesson later on. We're gonna have a jam together, and we're gonna get through this. But you just said you were talking to a blues musician from New Orleans, because I was gonna say that a couple of your tracks have a real southern feel, and I freaking love it. Like I fucking love it. Love that southern flow, man. And mate, what work did you do? Who'd you work with down south? Go on.
Oh, we're down south, like in the USA, or down south in Australia?
Well, which blues musician did you work with down south? Was it in Australia, or was it down over in the US of A?
Oh, yeah, no. So what happened is that my dad lives in New Orleans, and then you would just literally go down the French Quarter and the French Street, and there'd just be these incredible blues musicians there. Every bar, like, I'd have friends play, like this, I think it's the Spotted Cat, I remember off the top of my head. There's a couple spots we'd go to, and some of them would just be incredible musicians, and they just finish and get off stage, and then you just buy them a beer and like, hey dude, like, great playing, well, do you have any tips? Or just be that,
That's so
and everyone's
awesome.
happy, you buy them a beer and you give them a compliment. Anybody in New Orleans will give you a time of day.
You do that to me, I'll give you the time of day. You just give me the compliment, you probably don't even have to buy me the beer.
Oh, you're like, you'll buy me the beer.
Yeah, that's it. Oh, well, thank you. Just, I do look good. Have a beer.
Oh, yeah, fitting. Come on,
Oh,
mate.
yeah, oh, mate. Mate, you live here too long, you lose that smooth American accent of yours.
Yeah, no, I have to pronunciate my words like I'm back in Austin, Texas. Howdy, good day. Aloha there, howdy, folks.
So one thing that has intrigued me from the time that Karen told me about you, that Kaz told me about you, from MMK, another big shout out to MMK.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're from South Florida. Now, you got voted one of the best live acts in South Florida. Yeah?
Well, it was the live. Actually, it was the best live act to see.
Okay.
And I was playing so much different venues, and shout out. There's so much incredible, talented musicians in South Florida. So many people I play with, and I was just constantly putting my things in the newspaper, and I was making waves, playing with the Cultural Council West Palm Beach, doing all these things, and that's when randomly my friend sent me a screenshot like, hey, you're in the paper in the events section for top acts to see, and I'm like, that's rad. And a couple weeks later, South Florida Magazine did us as one of the top acts to see, and I was like, oh, that's really rad.
Man, that's an accomplishment. So if you got that over there, what was the whole theory in coming over here and doing music?
Well, I got stuck here. I just did this massive. It was like everything was happening in Florida. I was just about to play our first festival. I had things lined up in LA. So I came back because I wanted to see everybody. It's been about a year or two, and we booked Tasmania. I played, I think it was like 9 or 10 shows down there through Tasmania and Hobart, then up to Melbourne, and I got all the way to Gold Coast and played a couple shows. And right when I was about to go is when COVID hit.
No.
And that was last March, yeah. And that's when COVID, and then I had to choose whether I go back or I stay. And as I was about to leave, I was like, well, I'm going to fly to Sydney, LA, and then Miami, which were all COVID hotspots, to go to my mom. And I was like, and all my shows were canceled. And the house I'm at now, actually, I was the guy on the couch a year ago, and now I have the house.
Oh, man.
The guys took me in and let me stay here, and it's just a blessing to have friends when you're in a hard place between a rock.
So, COVID fucked you up. COVID really fucked your day up. Really fucked your fucking day up.
Well, and then after COVID, it was, I wasn't sure how to make a living as a live musician, and after that was when my guitar got stolen out of my car. So I had actually given up on music until I'd gone to MMK's Gymna Rocks event and randomly volunteered and went there and wound up going back on stage. Like a couple minutes notice, had to put together a full band, wound up going back on stage, playing a 45-minute set with 5 minutes to prep the bassist, drummer, and guitarist. And we smashed it. And there was a magazine there, Noise Pollution, that covered us.
Yes, they covered Crave as well. Yeah,
and they wrote a good write-up, and just all that crew there, many had never seen me play, and they were all just like, that's it, Johan, you're back, right? You're back. Like all the boys would say, you're back, right? Like, I just saw that, we saw you on stage, like, you're meant to do that, bro, like, stop. And I'm like, okay, well, finally, I guess, yeah, it's like COVID was my awakening to see music is not about me. It's about bringing joy to people, about sharing my scars so that it can heal other people,
Man, that is such an amazing story. I am so happy that something like that.
I'm just grabbing a beer while we talk, okay?
Man, no worries. I'm on a screen on my head anyway, so it doesn't matter. No one can see what you're doing at the moment.
Perfect.
But
there
dude,
I'm back.
I'll tell you something. That is such a beautiful story. Unfortunate about the guitar thing, and I'm fucking going to get close to the camera here, and I'm going to say something to those thieves. And to anyone else that actually thinks, Fucking stealing a muso's fucking guitar is cool. Do you know half the time when you steal something out of a musician's car, it's worth more than the car that you're fucking stealing?
Oh, brother.
Like, you assholes, it is their livelihoods. Take the car and leave the guitar outside of the car. You fucking jerks. We're cool with that. Take the car. Just leave the fucking gear. You fucking jerks.
But I tell you, a crazy thing is, when the guitar got taken, like, because I was already at a low, is I got so many messages from people and friends around the world, and so much love, and people telling me of the times when I was touring and I taught their kids on my guitar, or just all these memories came flooding back. And you know, they say, how can you put a price on knowing the impact you've had? But for me, it was $3,000, which is guitar. And it was worth every penny, brother.
Yeah,
I miss my
look,
guitar. I miss my guitar. I wouldn't want it to happen, but you know, you gotta look on the sunny side, you know, not the dark side of
well, through that shithole of a story came Jimna and Karen. And
yeah.
Karen, you have that effect on people, mate.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say you have that effect on people, and I admire it, because she got in contact with me and really probably put me in the right foot of doing this. So I appreciate you, mate.
Great like that. Kaz is great.
Well, she sees talent, she grabs it. Not saying I'm talented, I'm not tooting my own horn, but you, on the other hand.
Thanks, brother. Yeah, it's a pleasure.
Oh, dude. What other shows you got coming up, man? Come on. Pump it, sell it.
Well. So what's happened is, now that I'm back at it, I think we also have another show further in Brisbane. We're finalizing the dates. But yeah, there'll be a lot more shows coming up. I just finished up this week doing my first TV show opportunity we had over here. So I've kind of been delaying that because we're back in the studio. We're recording a new song. We're working on a music video for Islands, another one.
Actually,
and yep.
While we're here, sorry, man. I know you're working on stuff, but do you mind if we maybe watch a sneaky video?
Yeah, let's do it, brother.
I've got a little screen set up here so everyone can see both of us now, and we'll I'm gonna put on the Islands one because you filmed that here, yeah? You filmed that in Queensland, yeah?
Oh, are you talking about Sunrise or which one?
Yes, is it Sunrise? Oh, Sunrise. That's my favorite song. We're putting that on.
All right, so Sunrise is funny because I didn't have money for a producer and I waited forever to do a music video. And one of my friends was like, just record videos of you traveling. So he inspired me when I was in Austin, Texas. I was just living on my friend's couch and just edited the whole video by myself through, iMovie, just to have something for my friends and family everywhere I've been.
Man, awesome. It's such a good edit. It's such a good cut. We're gonna.
Oh, thanks, brother. Let's watch it. Let's check it out.
Yeah, let's throw it on for the people. There we go. This is by far probably my favorite song from you.
Yeah, that's my mom's favorite song. It's been the most popular one.
It's really good. It's really good. I don't think I've actually seen this video. It's good. I get to see it as well. Oh, you're in Florida. There you go.
Are you sharing it with the people?
Yeah, man. Yeah. So
Nice.
I have a screen set up. So I'm in one corner, you're in another corner, and then your video's going because DMCA rules. I can't pump the whole thing, otherwise I'll get in trouble. I can use a little bit of it.
Yep. 100%. You know what you're doing.
I'm gonna turn it up there. There we go. Ladies, look at that rock and bod.
Welcome a new kind of life. In every breath of being alive. Sunrise, light in the morning. Cleanse my soul. Hindsight and love, long time just roll with the flow.
So it's a great song.
Thanks, brother.
It's good editing. You've actually done a really good job in cutting that. That's really, really good. It's the first time I've actually seen this video. I love the song, but I haven't seen the video.
Breaking your sunrise cherry
Mate,
with
you
artists.
keep on busting the cherries. You can give that another.
Wherever you go, with this love, my friend, your home.
Kicking it right here with this man, bro.
Oh, man, that's such good scenery in Florida along the Nashville.
Oh, yeah, no. So this is in Florida. This is that spot was at Arizona,
Austin.
Nashville, Vegas, Austin. Yeah, it's my whole tour through the USA. Even Oregon, I go to Oregon in there as well.
Mate.
Trying to keep my head above water, floating, but I feel afraid. It's just you and me. I am complete.
Great song. The combi in the Gold Coast.
Yeah. Yeah, I did a couple ones. That's my brother Lewis's combi, man.
Yeah. That was in the What Are We Fighting For video.
Yeah.
Between you and I, it runs deep. It runs wide.
I'll just have the harmonica ready for this part.
This love,
I can't even play it when I think. You're doing and playing the guitar.
this love is flowing like a river. This love is flowing like a river. In the morning, sunrise, fill my heart and empty my mind.
Great song. Awesome song. Awesome.
Oh, thanks, brother. I appreciate the compliments.
Yeah, mate, you do well. You do well. I'm so happy to call you a official honorary Australian. I'm calling it.
Claim it while you can until the world finds out.
You're gonna
First claim, first dibs.
That's it. I'm calling it now. You're gonna go back over there and you're gonna be like, "Here you go. I'm Johan Danno."
Oh,
You gotta-
I'm coming all back.
Yeah,
Laying down on the here,
that's
bring the
it.
thunder, baby.
That's it, mate. That's it. You've wrestled the crocodiles and lived through the spiders, so nothing can touch you now.
Oh, like I say, get my citizenship the right way through the desert.
Or at least you don't have to hop any fences.
Yeah, just jump any kangaroos.
Yeah, that's it. Just hop in a pouch, mate. Just hop in a pouch. You'll be fine. With your writing process, and I'm very interested in it,
Yep.
because it's obviously so layered, what would be, I guess, your first... Obviously, you do a lot of this stuff on your own. You're not like this typical, I just play guitar, that's all I really do. You do the harmonica part, you obviously can play drums as well. You're very vast in your instrument playing. So what would be like? Is there I guess like a process that you'd go through where guitars would be first, or do you come up with something going on the harmonica and then you go from there, or is it just sort of really just depends on how the mood's flowing?
Well, it depends. So on those tracks, I think we did some MIDI drums. That was Gareth. Now I did, when it comes to writing, I'll have a song. A lot of times, my process might be like, I might be feeling a mood or an emotion or a thought, or hear a song, and I'll pick up the guitar and just start playing something, and then that'll lead to me singing something like, and then I get like a flow or feel to where, a lot of the songs, like another song of mine, Rescue Me, I literally wrote in 20 minutes. The whole song all the way through.
You're one
and
of
that was
those
actually
people.
when, yeah, but that being said, Sunrise, that one was a work that took me about like 4 months. 'Cause
Wow.
we'd be behind the house one time, and then I'd have one section, and then I'd play it, and every time I play it, I'd play it a little different, and then I'd write the lyrics down because I'd ad lib it, and then I'd work on it and work on it, And then that one, some of them are like, some of them are like fast and quick. And I guess like relationships, some might be fast and quick because like,
Like my love
they're just,
life, or how much, depending on how much I've had to drink.
well, I meant fast and quick, but full of like a body and experience. And
Oh,
some
it's
of them,
always
like,
it's always full of
are
love.
just that dance. Yeah, just some of them are that dance. Some of them are the big bang, and some of them, need a little bit of caressing.
Man, it's always so hard, especially because you look at a lot of musicians, and at the end of the day, you're perfectionists because it's art. And I guess
Yeah.
because you have the ability of not having to put it, I guess, on a canvas or something like that, there's always time to refine it. But it can get to a point, I guess,
Yeah.
where you just, are you ever going to be happy with it? Is it ever going to be perfect? You're always going to find something wrong with it at the end of the day, I guess.
Nah, I guess it depends. Like Sunrise is one of those songs where I kept working on it until every line and part I felt was my best. Like it flowed, it felt good. And like there's certain songs where I feel like it's a labor of love, you
Yeah,
know?
mad. I like that. And it's good.
But it's
It's good to actually feel. Well, how does that actually feel to have that accomplishment when you actually go, okay, in my eyes, I've just given perfection.
well, it's there's when I was writing this album actually, I just left my corporate job, so I was super gung ho to really do right. So I took a free online course through Berklee College of Music with Pat Patterson on songwriting. And he would take songs like Amazing Grace and rearrange the lines of the song and explain how that creates a different feel, or having an uneasy number of lines in a verse gives like a lead in, whereas an even number gives like a balance. And talking about switching up different structure in songwriting. Because before then, I thought it was, verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, that's it, or something like that.
That's how
And
I thought
Sunrise,
all music went, but you have just absolutely blown the shit out of my fucking mind.
and rest can be compared to Sunrise. Sunrise is a different song structure. That's why I was trying to do something different. David Bowie said it best. It's like, if you want to be an artist, you can't be in the shallow waters where it's safe. You need to go dive deep into areas where you can barely touch your toes, where creatively you're pushing the boundaries. That's when you do your best work, is when you're trying something different, and I feel Picasso said it best as well. Like, good artists copy, but better artists steal. So you steal someone's songwriting structure, you make it your own, not trying to copy it, not trying to do the same, like not like a Lumineers style, like, which is what inspired me at the time, was the Lumineers for that one, but more of that, yeah, just trying different things.
So you've basically, number one, you just blew my fucking mind with what you just said there. So I've never, ever, like, obviously, like, I have heard about changing song structures and stuff like that, but the actual way you talked so methodically about, I guess, mathematically about it, having even and odd numbers and
In the
shit
same way
like
as the
that.
number of
That's
lines. Yeah, if you have a different number, like if you hear certain songs, like you can some of the best songs, like Adele's a great writer, where her song is like some lines will be short and some will be like I just so up when if I like some of her lines are short and some are longer, so it really drags you in, and then she stops, so that really pulls you in. And it's that whole dancing with your way you sing the lyrics, not just, and that's that, like even rapping says the same. Like when I grew up freestyle rapping, like they'd say, if you're just going word like line to line and it's just repetitive, you know, it gets monotonous. Whereas if you have a flow and then it goes, you got a different number of lines, and that's how you grow. Things are good and then they come and then they low. You just gotta realize everything is a illusion, yo. Just whatever, like, but you slow it down because it's part of it now. All we need to have this moment because we're living and ripping, and all the things that I know is that I tried to wrap it up, but I'm just white and I'm just drinking beer with my beer buddy, yo. Whatever.
Yo.
But one line, this is the if I could give one line to songwriters that would change their whole career, is make sure your song has at least one tattoo line or multiple. Like lines that are so profound that somebody hears and they're like, yeah, they'd almost get it tattooed.
Okay, that's a fucking great theory.
Well, now look at it like Bruno Mars, like I'm
Don't-
so hot, I make a dragon want to retire, man.
Mate,
Like,
just-
that's a sick line.
I also don't believe me, just watch.
Yeah, well, but then you have every rose has its thorn, like
Yeah,
you know, all these different,
Oh.
every song, like
You got to have that
Every
tag. You got to
song-
have a tat line. You got to have the tat line,
yeah,
not a tat.
no, tattoo.
No, that's what I'm saying. No, that's what I'm saying. Not a tagline. Fuck the tagline. No.
That's like your one-liner.
I must say it too Australian. No,
Oh
definitely.
yeah, that's their tape. Oh yeah. For my American mates, what's a person's first song they release? What's it called?
Oh,
It's their. How do you pronounce the word? It's the D word.
the D word, dick.
The debut. But
Oh.
How do you say it?
Oh, the debut.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, right,
He's making fun.
Americans.
He's making fun of my accent. He's in Australia.
No. I'm just want my American friends to experience
I
certain
love
words
it.
that they don't get,
Fair dinkum.
or like how.
Debut.
Yeah. Yeah, let's throw another prawn on the Barbie. They think
Yeah,
it's shrimp.
no, we don't have shrimps. We have prawns.
Yeah. So I'm saying, get a little culture here.
I
for the people
love
at
it. I
home.
love it. But I'll tell you what, if there's one thing I love about America, smoking meat. Oh,
Oh yeah, you brisket man. or
I
something.
am, man. I am. I'll tell you what. I thought Aussies knew how to barbecue, but after a little bit of knowledge, is we like burnt sausages and rissoles. Y'all like some good shit on your barbecues.
All right, so 2 barbecue tips. One is you'll have to go to Austin. Austin is like the food truck capital and live music capital of the U.S. And there's so much barbecue everywhere. You'll be in heaven, like.
Oh,
And Austin's crazy where they, when I was living there and playing on 6, it was crazy because you could hear so much music. Like it'd be in the morning, we're hungover, so let's go to breakfast, 9 o'clock, and you get this incredible diva, but she's singing like Black Hole Sun and like Teen Spirit and singing all these 90s like grunge songs, but like just show tune, beautiful style. And then you're like, all right. And then like 11 o'clock, you go to the blues machine and you just hear blues, like, the whole time you're having beers. And then after that, you go to a 20-piece jazz band with all these players that just jump in and out like the whole time and play. Then you're like, oh, let's go over. And then you'd see like down at 6, you could see everything from punk rock to reggae, any music you can name. And this is in the middle of the afternoon. And then we go over to Mohawk and you'd see like these incredible like psy trance live music, like Rufus meets like Iron Maiden, like ridiculous.
what the fuck? What the fuck does that sound like? I didn't even. My brain.
I don't even know. I'm just coming
I
with
can't.
things. But
I can't comprehend that.
And then after that, you got like a 10-piece swing band, and they're doing like Bruno Mars. And then you close off with some honky tonk cowboy, like Americana stuff. And that would be one day in Austin, and all this food you get. You could see 20 shows in one day easily.
Oh man, that's unreal. See, we don't like in Sydney up until before COVID hit. We got allowed to be able to go out until like 3 o'clock in the morning, and if we were lucky, we'd be able to get back into the pub if we went out for a bunger. And live music, it was just, oh my god. Hopefully, after COVID is done in Sydney, we can all get back into fucking staying out late and having really, really, really loud music again. Because I don't like the fact that my ears are adjusting to quiet, and I don't fucking quite like it.
Yeah.
Oh man, there was one of the.
I feel you're making me want to play one more song for you.
Do it, because to be completely honest, I'm busting for a leak. Can Mad, hold on, because I got to mute me and shit. Which one are you gonna play? Are you gonna play Sunrise?
I was gonna play a new song, which is a blues song.
Do it. What's it called? Oh,
This one's called Pleasure and Pain.
Pleasure and Pain. Let's do it,
I wrote this
people.
one in Tasmania on my last tour.
Oh man, I'm so happy you've actually managed to see a good chunk of Australia while playing your music. That's a good way to see it.
Oh, it's such a pleasure, man. Australians are some of my most favorite people in the world. Why do you think I'm living here, brother?
Man, I love it. Well, we're happy to have you. Do it for us. Let's do this.
Oh. Yeah. Well, they say you gotta reach the bottom to know how high you've been. Sometimes we're winning and grinning, my friends, and other times, remember the times we did. Well, I know I have my share of love and pain. I'm just trying to find the middle, trying to find somebody to love again. But I might as well start with myself, 'cause that's how you're gonna make it, if you can't even love yourself. So I dance pleasure and pain. Yeah, I dance between pleasure and pain. Well, sometimes I can't tell the difference. Other times, baby, you know, I just can't stay away. And I know we've been low, almost like we've never been high. You're chasing these feelings like you're trying to find between the lines something better that's gonna get you high. What I sometimes say for most people, they say smelling them is fine. 'Cause we dance pleasure and pain. Well, I know dancing pleasure and pain. Oh, all these years I thought we could tell the difference. Well, I just guess sometimes, well, we just can't stay away. Oh! Yeah, well, sometimes I know that love could be a lesson. Other times it can be a gift. Well, I know we've been searching for something that we feel we miss. But I'm just gonna dance with my pleasure and pain, 'cause I know sometimes, baby, that's all I'm saying. So why don't we dance with pleasure and pain? Oh, yeah, we dance with pleasure and pain. Well, sometimes, oh, we just can't tell the difference. Other times, I know we just shouldn't stay away.
Oh my lord, my lord, man! I'll tell you what, you can sing, man. You're a very talented individual.
Put the volume back up so I can hear you.
You're a very talented individual, my friend.
Oh, thanks, brother.
You are, man. You are. And I really want to know, what was your corporate job?
So, interesting story. So, my corporate job is I was a top level executive, sort of. I wouldn't say I was executive, but I work with executive level corporations as a Deloitte consultant, specifically on strategy, information technology, apps, training. Like our clients were like Origin Energy was one we worked with, and I met amazing people there. And just the big banks and big telecoms, like the major companies were our clients.
Oh, wow.
Massive projects. Yeah, like projects we're working on are millions and billions of dollars. Like
When you say music,
And-
you can't run away from it.
well, it's actually an amazing story. He's probably not on here, but
No,
first day-
please. I want to hear. This is why we're here. Johan.
So-
This is why we're
so-
here. Whole story, front to back.
all right, so it's an awesome story, and there's something that my cousin Danny Vaughn is a famous rock star over, and he's in Spain now, but we have chats, and he always would say this thing that if you're a musician, if music is meant for you, then no matter what you do, you cannot run. It will always find you. And I say this because, I always loved music, but I never had the courage thinking I could have a career doing it. And I was talking to my mom, calling her every day when I was in Brisbane, because what happened is I got my heart broken by a woman, and then I was like working my corporate job. I was success. I had money. I had a big job. I had everything that I thought I wanted, but felt very hollow, like I was missing something, And out of the back, for some reason, one of the guys, Omar Ramez, he was one manager that started in Deloitte. And I was trying to be all cool, but he was a guitar and he was a musician. And he did this massive story with all these big businesses and this huge introduction. That was my first time working at Deloitte, and there's these big, huge banks and businesses there, and then talks about his guitar. And so we talk afterwards, we become mates, and I work on a big project with him. And long story short, at the end of my corporate career, and I was on that fence, I'd already been in this hole for a while. Him and multiple people who were at my corporate job were the last people that pushed me to leave to do music. Because, they would just talk to me and they would say, they were like, I could go back to this corporate job, but they could just feel like my energy. And they're like, man, if I had the chance, I would try music, and you have the shot, you should do it. And that led to, I just went in the blue, and I ran a crowdfunding campaign. My friends and family got behind me. That's how I recorded that album down there in Byron Bay. That's how I funded part of my money to do my first 16-city tour is, my friends and family and the people around me just having that faith where I wasn't sure, and the little nudge, It
makes a massive, massive difference, especially it's one thing to be in a band. You can sort of split funds and shit like that, but when you're a solo musician, it's a completely different ball game. I don't even think it really sits in the realm of what you can say a band is. I don't like. I
Yeah.
really don't think you can. That's just my personal opinion. Other people may disagree, but to actually know that you have your friends and your family's faith behind you and their
Yeah.
encouragement, I guess, would have been a big push to have a red hot go.
Well, and I don't. It's not even me. I'd say it's for anyone. Like, I've grown up thanks to my mom and a lot of my friends are family and my family are my friends, and I've always felt like even in that corporate job, like all those people, they got my back because I had their back. You know, they were there for me because I was there for them when they had lows or downs. I was there as a friend, and I would always be there. And I feel like it takes courage to do anything in life, and you're scared of failing, no matter what it is. And the best way to have people around you that'll support you is support them. And it's not like put yourself second, because that's the hard part people do. It's like, I want to help people and being too nice, which is my podcast, Good Not Nice. I'm starting in my movement.
Oh,
You
really?
can't be too nice. Yeah. That's what I've been working on that, dude. We just did a launch at the weekend event. It's conscious events with art, music, and empowerment. Yeah.
Oh, mad! That's awesome. You have to send me the link to that. I want to hear that podcast.
Oh yeah. Well, I'll have to get you on there. We'll chat sometime, brother.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like I have anger management issues, so I'm more than happy to talk about try to be not being too nice.
Well, all right. So funny story, anger management, real quick. When I was working my corporate job and the girl I dated at the time, it actually came full circle. But she was a psychology major,
Oh.
and she was American, and I was in love, but I was just gullible at the time. I was a different person years ago. I was very gullible, and she'd do that thing where like
Psychoanalyze you.
well, not even that. It's like they do things to push you so that you get angry, and then they flip it on you to make it like you were angry, like poke the bear and then play victim is what they call it.
Oh no, they're called psychopaths.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's what it was. And I was just so like, and I get angry, and then I'd be reflecting for days, like, do I have issue? So I literally, my work paid for me. I went to go see an anger management counselor. I'm calling like my best friend Greg in Melbourne, like asking him, like, what do you think? He's like, well, what'd she say? What'd you say?
Don't ask that. That's what got you here.
No, but this is the best part. So I went to anger management, and I'm talking to the guy, and then he's like, all right, so tell me this. And I'm telling him my anger issues, this, that. He's like, okay, when do you get angry? And I'm like, whenever I talk to her and this and that, and I explain everything. He's like, hold on. And he tells me, so what? And then I tell him right now, he's like, mate. And I'm like, what? He's like, is this your first relationship? And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, bro, she's totally like playing the cup game on you. Like, she's totally like saying this thing so that you think this and react this way. So she flips it this way. Dude, she's playing you like a puppet, bro. And she's like, you don't have anger issues. He's like, you have relationship issues, bro. You need to start, you need to start with a relationship with yourself. And I was like, whoa.
Wow. Revelation, man. It's all, but it's all. I don't want to say that. I'm happily married. I'm very happily married. But in the past, when I was young, geez, they have a hell of a way of bringing out the bad in you sometimes, eh? I guess just generally people do, but there's a special kind of bad when you're in a relationship with someone.
Yeah.
And they just actively try and set you off.
Yeah, it's like those relationships are, oh man. And
Well, they're toxic.
It's like,
They're toxic.
well, and she was actually on border security, funny enough. She got deported, so.
Oh my god. Well, I think you got lucky there, champ.
Yeah, it was pretty hectic there. But I was going to say is the most grateful I have is that time. It's like that heartbreak. All right. So another story is my song Alive.
We'll listen to that after this.
Song, yeah, I'll tell the story about when I wrote it. a little later. But what I'll tell you is that song, when I'd written it, I'd left it alone, and I had just broken up with her. I was sad. And my friends called me to come play this house party, and I wasn't playing gigs then, but it was nice friends of mine, again, like supportive friends. So I said, oh, screw it, I'll come play this house party. And I was playing all these cover songs, and I was having fun. And then I just was really sad and decided to play live. And, I just wanted to really deal with my pain. And I played it with my heart. My eyes were closed. Everyone was at the party, wasn't paying attention. And like, when I opened my eyes at the end, there was like 4 people just like sitting right next to me, and like 2 people were crying like softly. And I was worried. I'm like, you guys okay? And like, they just kind of stopped. They're like, dude, like, was that your song? And I was like, yeah, man, that's one of mine. And they were like, bro, like, I've been going, or all of them were saying, like, I've been going through a lot. Like, that really touched me, and that was a huge eye opener for me. That, like, at that moment, because I was like, fuck, like, I'm in this state of sadness and pain, but I play this music and I realize I'm not alone. And not only do I realize I'm not alone, but funneling my pain can create healing for others, and that creates healing for me. It's that infinity.
It is, man, and it's a very good thing that you can do that. And as a musician, I think, or as any artist, it doesn't matter whether you touch 1, 2, 5, 100, 100,000, 100 million. As long as you get through to one person and you make them feel that much better, and get through that much of the pain, you've done your job as a musician. You've done your job in your songwriting. Because I think a lot of people try and look, at the end of the day, you always want to make the big time. You always want to try and push that boundary and play to that big crowd. But as long as you get through to someone, you've done your job. You've done your job as an artist, and that's a big difference. Well, I think that's where people, I don't know, get a bit jaded with music, because you want to make that big time, where it's not about that.
Well, it's like, I've always said, like, most people know is there's the music industry and the entertainment industry, and the convergence of both of those is pop music, which is the most popular music. If you want to be playing to stadiums for thousands of fans and singing, you got to do some kind of popular music. Yeah. But the entertainment, really, like mumble rap, is more of an art form, in my opinion, of an entertainment, whereas music at its core really is what they call prosody, when everything plays together, like the vibrations, the sounds, like the Beach Boys. What's his name? The guy who did a lot of production for Pet Sounds. Do you know the Beach Boys? What's his name?
Oh God, I'll look it up. Hold on, keep talking. Beach Boys.
Yeah, it's a main guy who produced all the music for them. I can't remember his name right now.
Beach Boys producer.
Yeah, he's in the band. He kind of went crazy and lost his hearing, if I remember correctly.
Where are we? Members. Was it Brian Wilson?
Yeah.
Okay.
But like, he tried so many different sounds and brought so many different things together, And
no, continue. Sorry, no. Continue.
No, you go ahead.
No, because I was gonna say they were revolutionary in their sound, in a sense that they brought that whole surfer rock, I guess.
Well, it was. If you listen to Pet Sounds, the album had so many different layerings of vocals and so many different sounds. Like, it was very, like, revolutionary at the time. And that and Rubber Soul, like, I didn't think much day of it, but so many big influential musicians quote those albums. And then you look at the Beatles, like, when my mom grew up, like, she was saying, like, the Beatles was the band your parents wanted you to listen to, but Rolling Stones was the band you secretly listened to because you're a rebel.
Yeah, well, there you go.
And then the Beatles took LSD and went crazy, and then they were freaking, and actually,
We all know Keith Richards is an immortal who will never die.
oh, well, apparently, once a month he gets a blood transfusion. That's what I've heard.
Oh,
A
really?
full body blood He gets a full body blood transfusion. Yeah, and the whole band helps pay for it.
Well, I mean, you're Keith Richards. You deserve it.
Yeah, like Keith Richards. Well, that's
You're,
what that.
you're
It was
you're
funny
the
'cause-
reason why guitar playing became really fucking cool.
Well, and it's just the convergence of music and entertainment comes down to going back to my point is, there's those elements like you're saying, which is music at its core is expressing a feeling, in my opinion. It's a moment. It's something that can be healing, can be help you escape, can make you not feel alone. Like it's something that's been revolutionary in so many ways. And you got to split it because, prime example is so many artists start out and they freak out because, they're focusing on the songwriting, they're not the entertainment, or they're so focused on the entertainment, they're not focusing on the songwriting.
So I guess what you're saying is that music is an art form, entertainment is an industry.
Both are art forms, but it's more of an understanding that if you want to play to that big crowd and be a pop star, your show has to be entertaining.
Oh,
Your brand has to be entertaining. It has to be a full entertainment package, and your music has to also have some sort of substance. It has to be catchy.
I very much appreciate how you actually call it a brand, because I think a lot of people forget that not only are you selling your music, you're selling yourself.
Well, and it's you think back to any time of music since back in the day. It's also like your uniform. For punk rockers, it's like your punk rock music is your whole life. Yeah, is your whole life. It's your outfit that you wear to tell society that this is the drum that I beat to.
Yes. Look at the Sex Pistols revolution.
Yeah, and even like the hippies and everybody, like everyone has like this thing, and that's the core of human beings. We want to be in tribes. We want to be a part of something and belong, and music is such a personal thing that, if you create a world around it and you create a place around it where people can feel safe, that's why Metallica has such a big following. Did you see the documentary with the guy that like was able to walk? He had brain aneurysm. He wasn't going to be able to walk. And he loved Metallica. So he went to a Metallica show, and when he went to it, he started moving around, and he was so happy. So his wife decided to take him on tour with Metallica for almost their whole tour. And he pretty much was nearly healed at the end of it, and the doctors were freaking out. And it was the community.
Fucking kidding.
No, look it up. Look it up. The like Jim Brewer talks about it, the comedian, how he was with them, and this guy literally was in a wheelchair and was able to get up and move and live his life just from following the Metallica army and traveling and touring with them and being with everybody would support him.
That is fucking unreal. That is the true power of music. I think people forget how influential and how strong music can be. I don't like how I guess some musicians get labelled in that. That typical musician thing. I guess the broke one. That shit broke. Like it's so much bigger than you. What you try to do.
Yeah.
And I think people forget that as a musician, what you're trying to give is bigger than you. Because you're trying to, you sell a part of yourself. You not sell a part of yourself, but you're trying to give people a part of yourself. And you're trying to do it for a bigger purpose than yourself.
Yeah.
And people forget that.
I think some people are. I think also music is a thing where, we're in a very interesting time. There's so many, like I tried out for, I think, The Voice. And there's a friend of mine in the States she was one of the top 10 finalists, Allegra Miles, amazing musician and talent, one of the top 10 finishers. But the reality is that that's not how the music industry works.
No, it sucks.
You don't just have talent, wait in line, Like even Dave Grohl said it. You don't go trying to go to the song comp and think you're gonna go in and then boom, your whole career is gonna take off. It's not like just buying fake followers on Instagram, which people do, because it really is that getting out there, like having courage and supporting yourself. Like that's what I've done with my tours. I've done with my releases, just making it happen. And that's bigger acts see that because they were a lot of them were the same.
Well,
People are waiting for. Yeah,
it's about the grind, man. It's about the fucking grind. Especially as it like.
Well, yeah, and you think about it, it's like there's so much music and things out today where it's like, if people are clicking and flicking, and somebody just posts a video they just recorded and put it up, and then they get annoyed that there's not a lot of views. Like I might do that, but when I put it up, I do it because I want people to have content to hear. But I'm not worried about the viewpoint. Why? Because I didn't invest a lot of time to edit it. I didn't invest a lot of time for a lot of the work. So if it doesn't go viral, like I'm not taking it personal.
Not the
what I see.
Man. You can't look for that self gratification from the internet, but
a lot of people do. A lot of people live and die on the like count and the follower count, and behind every one of those likes or one of those follows is a person.
Yeah, 100%.
Most people, they just look at the metrics, and like you said, like it's been said, you want 1 million views? Yeah, but what if you have 10 views? And people are like, well, I'd rather have 1 million. Yeah, but what if that 10 views, one of them is Oprah, and one of them is a huge person, and all of them love and support and believe in your music? And what if it's, 1 million people that see you for a minute or a stream, and then they forget about you, which is what most musicians do. They want that 1 million streams, 1 million view for the clout, and they can't sell out a show.
Mate, I could not agree more. And especially in a world and day we live in where someone getting hit in the nuts or something like that will go viral.
Catch me outside, how about that?
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like it's just, bro, and you couldn't be more fucking right. Like you look at a lot of musicians, unless someone is in a fucking punch up or a car accident or fucking something bad happens, it is very fucking rare that anything meaningful really goes viral, unless something bad happens. And it's a fucking sad situation. And you have you go on the internet fucking daily. You see tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of musicians trying to get their stuff out there.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, you've come from playing covers over in the US, and you've done the touring thing over here. You've done a lot more than what I did in my short long music career where I did anything relevant. But what is the fucking what is the big because I've always thought it's like America is like the Mecca. If you go over there, you can get over there. You're playing fucking night after night after night because tickets are dirt cheap or they're free because pubs or clubs just want to have you on there for the drink revenue if you can actually play decent.
Yeah.
But in comparison to Australia, I mean, realistically, I only have Sydney to go off. But what would you say would be the big difference in America and Australia? And on top of that, what would you think coming from, say, somewhere like America, what would be the game plan coming out of this to get fucking asses into pubs to watch live music again, not just DJs, because DJs kill me.
Yeah, I think the reality is, I've seen it before, and that is, I was a cover artist and acoustic musician and rocker, and things are changing. Like people don't want to see live music at the bar as much, and people want to see DJs. Some do, and that's my opinion. That is a lot of the background cover gigs. Like it's a thing where people like it and they don't. And my 2 cents is, when I traveled the U.S. and I was playing in places like in Austin, Texas, you play, for example, like a gig here in Australia, you play 3 hours covers, you make like $300 to like $600. If you're playing the casino, maybe $700. Whereas in Austin, Texas, you'll be lucky to get $75 for 3 hours in tips.
Okay. Well, that's a big
and
difference.
That's like a good musician. And you have to do your chops. And the thing is, you're at one bar next to 6 other bars all playing music, across the street from another 10 bars all playing music. And it's no longer about how talented you are. It's about how entertaining you are. It's about how you can involve the crowd, how you can bring people in, how you can tell stories or music, how you can really create a vibe, and that's what Austin taught me, that yes, if it comes down to a show, if I'm playing, I'm talking, I'm singing, I'm involving the crowd, I'm really creating an experience in a moment to bring people together, because that is what music is meant to do, bring people together. And a lot of bands and cover artists and bands, they're playing the songs as best they can to sound just like the record, for people to sing along, which is great. But I personally think it's good to just go balls to the wall, play things that will, make people think or move or feel. And to get people out to bars and clubs, I think you just have to, we have a show and we're selling tickets, but it's not as many crazy tickets, just because coming up, I'm going to do a live one. Coming up, I'm going to tell people. Coming up, I'm going to make it an experience, an event, so that people say, wow, this person's invested. Johan is invested. This show matters to him. He's promoting it. He's marketing it. I'm seeing it. Okay, now I kind of want to go. Whereas if you just say, oh, here's a poster. Here's the thing. Oh, here's this. Like, you're not really fully selling, because they're getting a million advertisements for 100 different things on their phone already.
Well, I guess it's taking the easy way out. Just sit there pumping on the phone. I can't. I guess I do it. But I could not agree more. You actually have a very you have a really different way of thinking about your music and your live shows, and you've made me think about the way I'm going to do this.
Oh, stoked, man.
No, man, no. It's been really, really good conversating, or having this conversation with you, because I guess, sort of the way I think, and I don't know, but you take a very, very, very different way of thinking about the craft. Where did you actually come up with this mindset? And is there a specific sort of mantra that you go into with every show, or every time you go in that you write? Is there a modus operandi that you stick by with your music?
Well, I guess, to be honest, it comes down from experience and travel. I say that because when I was playing here on the Gold Coast, I got a bit of an ego. I was playing lots of shows. I was doing well. And, I play in kick drum. I think I'm really good. And I booked this show, this tour. I feel like I'm hot shit to a degree. I think I'm the man. And then the first time I go to Nashville, and I went in, and then my friend was running a songwriting session, and, I killed a songwriting session. So I feel, again, like on top of the world. And then I go out to an open mic that was at Jed's Sports Bar, and there was 100 people there, because the thing is live stream on Nashville radio, Lightning Radio.
That's awesome.
So you're at this open mic, and if they like you, they click the button, and you're live on the air. And if they don't, you don't play. And I went up, and you're waiting in line, and they only pick 40 people, and there's 100 people there, so you're rushing in, trying to get on stage. And I'm fucking, talking to everybody like I'm the talk of the town, because I'm from Australia. And then the first act went up, and I was talking like I was in Australia, and everybody in the bar is quiet. 100 people there, nobody's talking except for me. That's when I'm like, whoa. And then you listen, and by the fourth, they're all okay. And then number 4, I'm jaws on the floor. Sounds like, Elvis Presley meets Mumford and Sons. Incredible.
You got some great mashups.
Yeah, the way that they sound, and you're and just their vocal pitch and their resonance and the way they're playing and their whole playing, and then you go up stage, and then they just wipe the floor. I look like an idiot. I did my best, and that's when I had to get better. And
you got humbled.
I'm just on the road. Yeah. And I'd be on the road, and I remember there's shows I'd have to play, in terrible equipment. and sound wasn't great, but there was people that flew in and drove everywhere to see me. So I'd have to make lemonade with these terrible equipment, and I was no longer a Madonna. Like every show, every place I went, like I was living out of a suitcase, traveling on the Greyhound bus, and
Yep.
the people I meet, like traveling in this, it was people's kindness and these moments that I'd play these shows and they'd be empty bars, and then it'd fill out, and I just have these chats with people afterwards, and to hear people's what they're going through and to hear your music through somebody else's eyes or ears, and to yeah, it all led to me just seeing things differently. And it wasn't until I got to South Florida, um, after Austin and my tribe there, we had it's called Soul Fam. It was an artist collective and musicians and songwriters. We really started doing events and supporting each other and really going to each other's shows and buying each other's merch. And like there's this whole amazing just culture in South Florida we all had. Not, my friends Surfer Blood and Mike McCleary. They're an amazing punk band, and Article Sound System, an amazing reggae band. All these bands, and they're playing bigger stadiums. They're playing festivals and tours. And you're just seeing like it's not like I was here in Australia. I feel like fame and success is so far away to a degree sometimes, or it
Oh.
just seems like the Triple J path. Whereas over in the States, like you said, you know, when I'm traveling in Australia in my van, like, on tour, and, in a month, 2 months, I can play like 12 or 20 shows. Whereas in the States, I could play 12 shows in 2 weeks,
Yeah.
in massive cities and towns.
Yeah.
But
It's a
my
slog out
advice
here.
but I would say my advice to touring musicians is, if you go to the States, is play into the big cities, you know, like play there's smaller towns on the way. And like you said, those smaller towns they still go out to live music. They have nothing to do. The venues have money, they'll pay for bands to put on. And you'll get huge fans of people it's good to be a big deal in a small town. It's shit to be a small deal in a big town.
You, fuck that. Just makes so much fucking sense. You've obviously learnt a lot. Like obviously with doing the thing in America, coming over here, having to deal with COVID, basically getting a kickstart back again from MMK and the Gymnar Festival. What I guess what other than the shows, is it
Yep.
is it just balls to the wall? Let's just get shit out there. Have you got a lot of stuff written for us? You said before that you had an album coming out. Like when? Come on, tell me.
Well,
Tell us.
well, all right. Well, it's not the problem, I guess the blessing I have is, since I recorded and released that music on the road, I've written so much music. I have I'm debating right now because we go in the studio. I have like band music. I have like literally a solo album with a kick drum and just kind of Mumford and Sons, that Lumineers, Ziggy Albert's feel that I love. And I started playing piano as well. So I'm on the verge of, we have two projects now we're working on with a band, which is one that's it's kind of like Rufus meets Pearl Jam is what we're working on, called
Nice.
Elementrio.
Nice.
And then I have my other stuff, which is my main music. And because of that, I'm right now, because I don't have the budget, I've been debating about just literally recording a powerful like album without a full band, but with a kick drum, doing the bass, doing all the instrumentation, to really just gift people more music, and especially positive, inspirational music that'll bring people up.
Man, we need it. We need it. We need it. We all need it because yeah.
All right, I'll play one more. This is one of the new ones.
Ah, awesome, awesome. All right, I'm gonna mute myself. How good is this, by the way? This is great, great night, great night. I'm enjoying smashing these beers and listening to some good live music. So go me, yay.
Yeah, you're doing well. So this one you'll like. If you liked Home, you'll like this one. This one's called Home. Remember you and I counting stars before sunrise. We talk about all the things we do and who we become. But darkness creeps in, around within, till you find. When you face your fear, in the shadows we will find the light. As if you go away, no, things never be the same. The further you go, the more you'll find what's in your heart and soul, beyond your mind. So take a step and watch your breath. You're gonna make it out alive. Where you belong is where your head and your heart is. So yeah, there'll be times we're weak and times we're strong. So learn your lessons and how to move on. Live and grow. Love and let go. You'll find your way. And don't waste your days counting up your mistakes. They'll be your saving grace. When your head and your heart is home. When your head and your heart is home. This is where you belong. When your head and your heart is home. It'll be okay. Be patient, be brave. Let your heart lead the way. Everything is in its place. For your head and your heart is home. Your head and your heart is home. This is where you belong. Your head and your heart is home. You know the further you go, and the more you'll find. It's in your heart and soul, beyond your mind. So take a step, and you watch your breath. You're gonna make it out alive. This is where you belong. So welcome home.
How good was that? I was giving another one.
Thanks, bro.
I love that button. Love that button. Dude, no, thank you, man. You're giving us 3 tonight. I really appreciate it. I really, really do appreciate it. And
We gotta pop the cherry in style. I don't pop cherries or ride ones in case all the ladies know. Ladies know I'm not a one-trick pony. I'm not a one-show kind of dog.
What were you saying about the harmonica before? Your best piece of advice you gave me?
Yeah, you gotta do it like you're doing a straw.
No. We were talking off stream before.
Yeah. He's like, but I don't know. Like, I would say it's more your lips than your tongue. Yeah, you gotta use your tongue for certain things, that people appreciate. But when it comes down to it, it's the lips.
You just gotta pat your lips and blow on it.
Yeah, just blowing it up.
A little bit. Yeah, that's it. Oh, dude. We're gonna have a jam one day. I'm gonna get good. I'm gonna get good at this thing.
Down.
I'm gonna get good at this thing, and we'll have a jam live.
Yeah. Where's? Oh, there she is. I think this is the one. Yeah.
What have I got? I think I have a C. Yeah, mine's a C.
Yeah.
Isn't that the best? Isn't that the best one? Isn't that the best one?
Yeah.
A little bit of the chops, sort of. No, not really. That.
Yeah, you got it.
Oh, we're gonna try this. Why not?
So all these harmonicas, I gotta replace most of them. Like this is one. So I've toured so much. Like if you see some of these harmonicas I've blown, hey.
Well, don't you just have to clean them? I thought those things were indestructible.
Oh no. So what happens? Some of them get clogged. Like some of these reeds actually get blown. See, that's blown. So half the harmonica, my C harp, is blown. Usually, like I played it off for a while. Like I definitely like these harps probably. Yeah, I was gonna say like these harps I probably played, at least 100, 200 shows with most of these harps, man. I played so many shows with these. So thank you so much to that's the blues harp. What's this one from? That's a special 20. I think it's by Honer. Yeah.
Oh, I got a Honer. That's what I got.
Yeah.
The
Honors, man.
Honer Silver International. Oh.
Yeah, and you know what? It's like
Star.
I feel like such a terrible. Yeah, I feel like such a terrible slacker musician to not, because whenever I get money in, I'm paying bills and I'm buying beer and I always go to play my harmonica and I'm like, oh, I forgot that's what I should have used that $80 for, not that beer this weekend. I should have been buying equipment.
Beer's inspiration. Beer's man. I got to ask a question. What was your what age did you sort of start getting into music?
Well, I started when I was a kid, just a little grum. I was just a little nipper trying to get some. Try to realize when I'm growing up, just a kid. I was about 11 years old when our grandmother said, son, you better get music in your soul. She paid for my guitar lessons, matter of fact. The guitar guy I learned from, he played with Eric Clapton. I was thinking I'd be singing and I'm drinking. No, I won't because I'm only 13 years old. I'm just learning the guitar and how to talk to girls. And I'm just like, I can play the guitar in 3 chords. She's like, you need to play 4, and then we could talk, bro.
4 chords and a catchy line, man. 4 chords and a catchy line.
Oh, well, no, it's like Willie Nelson said, the best song is 3 chords and the truth.
Oh, Willie Nelson said that? Oh, there you go. You stole that, Devoy.
Man, a good song is 3 chords and the truth.
I'll tell you what, I just want those lungs like Willie. I want those Willie.
You ever heard? The best is you ever hear that song by Jack Johnson, Willie got me stoned and took all of my money?
I know, but I'm going to listen to it later.
Yeah, Jack Johnson wrote a
Jack
song.
Johnson.
Willie got me stoned and took all of my money.
That's awesome.
It was money. I was feeling quite fine, and then my whole body went funny.
What do they say? It's like he's like one of the only musos that smokes Snoop Dogg under the table, other than Tupac.
Oh, well, the crazy thing is Willie Nelson apparently his whole house is burning down, And do you ever hear the story about this or no?
No. Do go on.
Willie Nelson's whole house is burning down. Apparently, he went in and he got this guitar. I think it's Delilah, his favorite guitar, and a pound of weed. The whole house is burning down. Gets his favorite guitar and a pound of weed, and then he runs back out. Everybody's like, "You all right?" He's like, "Well, let's all sit and wait till they all come." And they all just got high, and he played music, waiting for the fucking ambulance and the fucking
Love
fire
it.
truck to come.
Man, that's such a stoner thing to do. Just grab the tooth, entertainment and marijuana.
Well, and the proven point is like Willie he lost his property and all that stuff with the ATO. Well, not the ATO, that's Australian, but yeah, the tax people. He wasn't paying his taxes, and when that happened, everyone around the world came together and paid his taxes. All these celebrities and people, they all helped
If I had
him out.
known, I would have helped. I'm not a celebrity,
Yeah.
but I would have helped. I would have given him like $10.
Uh,
Here you go, Willie.
yeah, I reckon we have Jimmy Buffett for president with Willie Nelson as vice president.
Oh my God, they would end it. They would end war. They would end war. They just hand blunts out to everyone, and you need Snoop Dogg there as the advisor.
Yeah, like I feel like there would be yeah, everything would be very different.
So what do you like? We're pretty strict over here in Australia. We're not as, I don't know what it's like up there in Queensland with you crazy Queenslandians. I'm stuck in New South Wales with the fun police, with Gladys and the fun police. But what do you reckon? What do you reckon the nightlife culture comparison is? Because I'm really interested. Like it's very rare that I meet an American that's actually come out here and sort of, you've really lived the life over there and done the music scene. Now you've come out here and done it. What do you reckon the sort of nightlife, like, is it? Are we just crap, or are we just like rule ridden little automatons that have to be forced in by the fucking fun police all the time because we're shit?
Well, I think it's very different. Yeah, Australia has some of the fighter spirit, the people that are like, I won't follow these rules, and America has a lot of that. I do feel like Australia is very similar to the States, where there's pockets, there's areas, there's towns, there's places you go where like music is still appreciated, where people are still going out, where people are still vibing. Even Brisbane has some amazing locations and areas, and here where I'm at in Gold Coast, like I live like Miami area. Miami and Burleigh, in my opinion, is great. You got like Mo Desert, you got Miami Marquetta. You've got like some good spots down here.
So they call it Bris Vegas, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm really happy you're enjoying some time out here, man. I'm really happy. Like,
Thanks, brother.
like I obviously feel I feel for you. Being in your, like, obviously you couldn't get back home for COVID and due to COVID and stuff like that. Are there any prospects to go back over eventually once everything obviously settles down and we're sort of in a good space, and you take a bit of that Australian culture that you've absorbed and try and sort of show the Americans what you've learnt, or show back home?
That already happened when I was in Austin, Texas, and I'd be playing and talking to bartenders. I taught them how you going.
Oh, awesome.
I'd be talking to them like, "Oh, how you going?" And they're like, "What? What'd you say there?" And I'm like, "Yeah, how you going?" Like, "Do you mean how are you?"
No, I mean, how
And
you
I'm
going?
like, no, like, how you going? Like, how you traveling, mate? And then he's like, oh, I love it. It's so easy. And like, my friend goes, hey, what? And he's like, shout at the cook guy, how you going? And like, the dude's like, what? And then they all get it. And now, like, and when I was in Australia, all of them were saying, good day, mate. How you going? And like, fully pronunciating the words. Good day, mate.
Nah,
How are you going?
Have about four shots of Jack. Have about four
Yeah.
shots of Jack, and then you'll get the Australian thing. It's, you got to be drunk and you got to make it all one word.
Oh yeah.
That's the best way to do it. It's like, hey, go. You breathe it out. You just breathe the word out.
Just breathe it out and hopefully you have a good breath when you do it.
Hey, go.
How you going?
Yeah, see? You nailed it. You just breathe it. It's got to be nice and nasally, and you just breathe it out. And you've got the Australian accent.
Well, hey, brother, if it's all right, if you want to put on a quick music video, I'm just gonna go to the bathroom and grab a
Man,
beer
do
real quick.
it,
I'm
do
gonna
it,
come
do
right
it,
back.
do it,
Is
do it,
that
do
cool?
it. Man, please. I need to do the
I'll be
same.
back
I have
in
it.
1 second.
Yeah. I have an intermission screen. We're going to take 5 minutes. We're going to have 5 minutes. So take
5 minute break.
Yeah, man. Just take some time to yourself.
All right, I'll see you in a second.
Too easy, brother.
Yeah, guys.
Beautiful.
Intermission, what a show.
are back. All right. And one thing we're going to talk about. Let's go to this screen because we'll get Johan there. Now, we were just saying off stream that the big. I was saying to Johan that probably one of the big things that's going to be coming up, especially now that COVID's over and stuff like that. I don't think people are really going to be interested in seeing DJs anymore. I think they will. Obviously, you're going to have that whole nightlife clubbing scene, that whole thing. But when I first heard your stuff, I could just see myself sitting in a nice pub somewhere, Sunday afternoon, nice summer day. Johan is playing in the background. I've got the wife and the kids around. I'm having a great day. And there's you just to top it off with some good soulful music. And it's got a nice variety. You've got that nice southern feel to it. Do you think the one-man band is going to be like the next big thing? Because I personally think it's due. I think with Ed Sheeran and shit like that doing this whole the loop pedal thing
and Tash Sultana has been a proven point of that.
Yes, exactly. And I think it's going to be a big thing back in pubs again. I reckon people are going to be enjoying it again. I reckon you're going to be on the forefront for it. Because you've got the stuff out there.
Well, and it's funny. In Austin, Texas, when I was there, a lot of people were doing the loop pedals, and they were killing it. They were incredible. And me and my friend Scotty Dalton, who's here on the Gold Coast, incredible loop artist. And what it was I'd walk in these bars and I just couldn't bring my loop pedal because I was traveling out of a suitcase. So I just had my kick drum and my guitar and singing and my harmonica. And as I was playing, all the guys were like, "Oh my God, vintage." They're like, "Oh, hipster stuff, oh, classic." And but the managers loved it. A lot of the places really loved that shit. They're like, and it became like a point of difference. And I was laughing because I was like, man, not long ago when I was playing in the Gold Coast with the kick drum, it was unique or different, you know? And when I went to Austin, I traveled that kick drum. It was very different. A lot of people were getting into it, but Austin also, they do suitcase. They have a suitcase with a kick drum, an actual kick drum they built into it. Oh wow! So that's what most people have there.
Yeah, I can't remember who that. I've seen that one viral video. I don't know if you've seen it. It's the guys in wherever.
I need to have a coffee.
Yeah, I can't remember where it is, but man, the thing. I'll find it and I'll post it later. But what you were saying there, these guys were busking on the street, and the thing went fucking gangbusters. How long did you busk? Did you only busk in Australia, or did you busk around the US
So I busked one of those spots. Oh, another thing is barbecue. When you're in New Orleans, if you go to New Orleans, you'll be on the street in these places, and sometimes you'll smell this amazing food and you'll want to eat it. The guy, and he's just cooking it on his grill out of his truck. Be careful, because a lot of time that's roadkill.
Oh, that's good to know. Although I've never, I'm not one to turn away meat, so a bit of raccoon or something like that.
I'd probably season it up, or the trash pandas as they call
them. Yeah, that's it. You know, like as long as you put a good rub on that and cook it low and slow enough, I'll eat it. I don't give a
fuck. What I was gonna say is, there it's like, you know, especially even near if you go there near Mardi Gras or anytime, there's guys like you could play anywhere on the corner there, and you have a boat battery, you know, your mixer set up to a boat battery and your camera, and you'd be playing, and you know, a good time when you're playing in some cities. Another friend of mine in the States, the Human DJ, he only busks because, you know, he can make anywhere from a couple hundred to 1,000 a night just busking on the street.
No.
Whereas if he goes to the bar, he's only going to make $150, $200.
That is fucking unbelievable. I think, from what I've heard, there's a lot of rules and regulations with busking in Australia. Is there a lot of red tape and shit like that compared to America, or can you just set up anywhere and just have a fucking crack?
It depends. So some cities and places like even Austin, like Austin, Texas, you had to have a busking permit for the most part, although most people get away with it. To have any amplified sound, you would. Um, certain cities and places, yeah. But that being said, like Portland, Oregon, that's an amazing music hub. Like they actually pay, the airport pays musicians to play busk in the airport. So like, one of my friend out there, Chef Gold, he's a cool musician. I met him. He was just busking. Like you're just coming off your plane, walking to a bar, and then there's a dude just busking right there in the airport. And great musician, great music. And you're just like taken back. Like that's the one thing I love about the States is that element of like everywhere, you go to certain cities, like you're in Nashville or you're in Portland or Austin, and there's music everywhere, in airports. And that I love that. Like everywhere you go, like there's music. And New Orleans is the same, like it's busking is part of the life. Like, if you're playing and singing, like, but New Orleans is all about the entertainment, like you get people in, like, there'd be guys playing and busking on the street, and then they're playing and singing. And it's like, it's that time of night when everybody knows, get out your wallet and let us go back home when we got some food to eat, put a pocket in the money so you're feeling sweet. We got the good vibrations into your soul. Put some coin in the purse because that's how we glow. And then they just do a whole freestyle. And he just had the old black guys like, put the money in the hat, 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 because that's how we eat and we can survive. Put the money in the hat, put the money in the hat.
So it's like, we miss out on so much of that cool shit. I guess it's because we're still a young country. In a sense, you guys have obviously
had,
the US has had a long.
Big on tipping. Yeah, the U.S. is big on tipping. Don't forget that because your bartenders make $2.50 an hour. They only make $2.50 an hour.
Yeah, so Australians pay decent, but Australian bosses have to pay decent.
You guys are ahead in areas and behind in others, but ahead in others.
I think the music culture misses out though. I think every it's no. I guess it's real no offense to America or anything like that, but I guess with the internet now.
Yeah,
we've become, as much as the internet is great, and it is so great for musicians to get your stuff out there so quickly. But in saying that, there's just an influx, and because anyone can do it. I could turn around tomorrow, write a song, cut a video. I couldn't do it tomorrow per se, but do you know what I mean? Within a week, I could.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Have a crack and do it, but. I guess with radio and with internet and shit like that, it's still so full on. I guess we're still spoon fed. A lot of people aren't, which is good.
Yeah.
Do you reckon that with the internet the way it's going, and like you as a musician that obviously uses it the way you do now, is it going to be? Well, what's going to be the big thing that's going to sort of get you over the line? Is it going to be the grind of doing the live shows? Or is it going to be the grind of trying to put out content constantly? Because you see a lot of bands now, especially with COVID and shit like that, they've turned from obviously not being able to do a lot of live shows to literally pumping out content on Facebook, Instagram, shit like that. Is that going to... Because... in my theory, that's going to be the game changer now, especially when you can travel in certain parts, you can't travel in other parts. Is it going to be every show you're going to have to do, you're going to have to try and film, you're going to have to try and put content out there constantly and just really try and basically flood yourself out on the internet to try and get you in that algorithm so you get seen?
Yeah, I think that was what I was feeling this time last year. Right after, I just finished COVID. COVID started. We had just gone through the desert, through Central Australia. And when I got back, I was really on that, okay, well, live music is out. How will I get my music out there? What will I do? Really, my answer now is what I'm doing, which is this Good Not Nice movement It's got my podcast have started. We're already doing events. That leads to conscious empowerment coaching. I'm creating an online course, all these elements. And why am I doing this? Not just music. Well, I could just be music and slugging it out and playing, which I have. But what I want to do is create a steady income stream where I'm actually connecting to people, influencing in regards to changes, better changes for them and me, better changes for life, inspiring them using art and music. Why? Because then when I release my music, then when I'm doing these shows, I'm not just this musician that plays music. I'm also this entrepreneur that does these events where I create opportunities to play. I've played in yoga ceremonies. I played in, Native American and South American ceremonies where they actually have me sit and do medicine music.
That's mad.
And
That's mad.
so now it's like I've got all this footage. I'm creating these videos to share and creating this whole like embodiment of the people that have influenced my life, what I believe in. So right now in my life, I'd say, to answer your question, I'm trying to be the slashy that comes with the talent, with the love, where I can create any opportunity. I can create an event. I can work with people, have an event, and provide the entertainment. Because I find, my mom's a hippie from Woodstock, and my dad is an engineer. And on my mom's side, my grandfather was an engineer. He worked on submarines. He worked in the World Trade Center.
Oh, wow.
My grandmother's a concert pianist. Actually, my grandfather as well, same grandfather. He was actually in World War II in Pearl Harbor when it got bombed.
Jesus.
Yeah, and so my family's my other uncle was on the front line fighting with the Russians and the Soviets. He was one of their contact people. But he was an American. He was an American with them while they defeated Hitler. So it was wild time. And on the other side, my dad's side, his granddad was German, and he was actually trying to flee the Nazis. And he got his boat confiscated by the Germans when they took over Belgium. That's where my grandmother hid my granddad at their farm, and he was one of the people going up cutting the wires and actually working with the Allies to try and defeat the Germans. And when they tried to find her, my grandmother would hide him, and that's when they fell in love and made my dad and his brothers.
Man, your life, your even your family backstory, you can make a movie out of this. You obviously those experiences and stuff like that have carried on through your life and made you a very, very, very good, not just songwriter, but a person as well.
Yeah, and I guess that's where I'm grateful, where beyond anything, I'm standing like I've said today, we stand on the shoulders of giants. And I'm grateful where I've been given such a unique upbringing and background to where now I just have to get out of my way and not only just create music, create these events, do these shows. Why? Because, if you treat one person like they're worth $1 million, that person's going to tell everybody what you did for them. Whereas if you treat 1 million people like they're $1, well, then they're going to forget about you the second they find somebody that treats them better.
Man, that is a really, really good philosophy. Not just to take through music, but to take through life.
Well, and that's like this, it's a Friday night and, there's 100 things people may want for you or me to do. And you chose to have me on this show. Man, and I'm so grateful to talk to you where I'm putting everything aside and I'm having a ball here. There's not 100 people streaming and answering 100 questions, but none of that matters to me because you got to just be present in what you're doing and celebrate it. And that's where people miss it. And that's why they never make it, is because they're trying to get somewhere and they're not enjoying the journey. And the journey is how you get there. Man, the journey is how you make it.
Well, man, I could not appreciate that more. I appreciate that you've taken this Friday night when you guys are all set free in Queensland to go do what you want, and you've taken the time to sit down with me. I really, really, really cannot thank you enough.
Thank you, brother. Man, it's a great chat. I enjoyed it.
Man, look, honestly, I've learnt a lot just by talking to you. You know, you've done so much in your life so far, and you've got so much more to go with the music that you're doing and what you're bringing out, what you've showed us tonight, mate. I could not wish you such good things, and man, I really hope this COVID shit locks down. You can get back out to doing what you do best, which is fucking entertaining people and taking your mindset. And the way you've spoken to me tonight has actually made me rethink the way I want to present my brand in doing this. And mate, you're doing a fantastic job.
Thanks, brother.
You're making me think, and if you can make other people think, you're just gonna go leaps and bounds, man. And
I just gotta make you drink. Yeah.
Don't need to make me drink, mate. I'll just open the eyes and I'm ready to go. That's why they call me B Buddy.
It was actually funny. There was a while I'd split 5 months. I wasn't drinking alcohol, and I took a break to support my friend who did a year, and yeah, it was. I've definitely danced with substances in general, so many more than I can name here.
Oh no, you don't, dude. No, you can name whatever you want. I've done my fair share in the dabbling of party, especially ecstasy. Ecstasy was my big thing back in the day. No, man, I don't do that stuff anymore. Chemicals really aren't my fucking thing anymore. Just
Well, I was gonna say natural's the way to go, 100%.
Oh yeah. Like I could not
From the earth.
Yeah, well, you know, if as much as I'm not a religious man, I will use this against a religious person any time of the day. Is that in what is it, the Old Testament? The Lord said, "Take every seed I have and plant it plentifully." If you don't want to use that seed to its full potential, that's not my fucking issue. I will.
Yeah, and I was just say it's I've said it plenty of times is use any substance to celebrate and enjoy it, but be mindful of the next. As in, like, you know, what I meant by that is like don't if the best thing of doing it is doing more of it, like for certain substances that way, like that's not healthy.
Yeah, that was ecstasy. That was ecstasy. When
Yeah,
you're dumping more than 4 pills in a night, you really got to start reassessing your life.
Yeah, and the bigger thing I find is, you know, with that is a lot of time, anytime we use substances, it's to change how we're feeling or to feel a certain way or to escape things. And I've always said, like, do it to celebrate, but don't let it be the main part of your life or the focus of your life.
Yeah.
Because when you do that, like, that's when everything else becomes secondary to whatever it is. And it's not healthy, even if that's sex, even if that's cigarettes or alcohol or whatever it is, even TV. And you could be addicted to any substance, which is something you consume. And it really comes down to dialing into that full spectrum of life, because you know, if you have an eating disorder and you're really eating a lot, or if you're drinking a lot, whatever you're doing a lot of, it's an excess of that because you don't see the excess of life that is around you to offer, the things you can do, because you've limited what you've experienced and you've limited what you think can change what you experience, what you feel. And that's why you've got onto this thing, and that's boring. Why have one substance or thing or one way that rewrite the same chapter every day? That's why people are depressed and upset or sad, is you don't have that alteration and change. Like,
no, you just
our
hit your life on
ancestors.
replay. But
Yeah,
in saying that though, I do think as Westerners, we've lost. You know what I'm saying, like being from America and stuff like that. They had peyote rituals in South America, and you had
Ayahuasca and all
ayahuasca
that
and stuff like that.
right.
And then even so much so as say the walkabout with our indigenous people here in Australia.
Yeah.
I think at some point we've lost that spiritual journey.
Yeah.
And now we try and substitute it with substances to try and reach that empath of spirituality or whatever it is people are trying to reach. whether it through drugs or TV or sex or whatever, they're trying to reach that higher level. But I think through people not living that stress, because we do live very sheltered lives now, and what those rituals were rites of passage, were to put you through such stress that you realise that life ain't that fucking bad.
Well, there's a great story, pretty wild, I heard when we went to. Have you ever been to Alice Springs, Central Australia?
Mate, you've seen more of the country than I have, unfortunately. I'm one of those Australians that ain't seen bugger all of it. I've been as far as Coolangatta, and that's about it.
So I'm sharing what I've been told, so I do apologize for any First Nations people. But if I say this wrong, but what I was going to say is, I remember we were in Alice Springs, and there was an amazing woman that runs the Aboriginal community, and she in regards to like she's the Indigenous presenter. She ensures all the parks you go to, she's there talking about it, and she's introducing them. And she said one thing from the tribe there that blew my mind, which is there's a rite of passage where the boys would literally go into the desert to find a king brown snake, one of the deadliest snakes. And they would have to get bit by it, and they would get bit, which would kill most people. And they'd actually have to sit under the tree, and they'd have to slow their heartbeat down and slow their body down so that the poison wouldn't kill them, so that they can be completely present. And the mentality, from what I understand, was that they needed to understand how powerful their thoughts are, how powerful their breath is, how if they aren't present, they're going to die. And the thing is that if you can't actually control those elements of yourself, you are not fit to be of service to your community, to everybody. And that's why you need to have the brink of death in order to really master yourself, so that you can be of service.
So you got to come to the brink of life to actually understand how to live your life.
And separate story in the States and in America, there's an amazing story I heard. It was the first research with psychologists, which would show Native American tribes, where if you were ostracized, if you were kicked out of the tribe, like very close knit, if you were kicked out of the tribe and you would lost your rights, your everything, they would literally go and sit under a tree and will themselves to die. And within like a day or two, and most within a day, they would just drop dead. And it was the power of their mind.
Wow.
And that's where nowadays we're constantly in a flow of marketing and advertising and agendas, people with agendas and things, and overstimulation and trying to be stimulated.
Man, I can't agree more. I'm one of those people that are trying to overstimulate people by watching this stream. I make no apologies for it.
No, and like this, the thing that I am right now in my mindset, and this is where I can support you, is to remember that each time gets better. It's like sex. The first time you had sex, maybe it was good, maybe it wasn't, but each time gets better, just like each podcast, like each song, like each release. And it's doing it is what is the payoff should be, not just not the next notch on your belt.
Nah, man, I'm honestly, I'm finding the more. So you're my third podcast, and I'm finding every week that I've done this, I'm learning a little bit more, not just about the industry that I've fallen out of, but about myself as well.
Yeah.
Because I miss out on those stories anymore, because I live in a 9-to-5 world where I don't really get to associate with other people anymore due to the lockdowns and stuff like that. But it's been a growing experience, and I'm enjoying it so far. I'm really, really, really enjoying it, because I'm getting to meet very interesting people like yourself. And I don't think it's as simple as what people think when musicians. How bad COVID actually has affected musicians. Like, it's one thing for it's one thing for the pubs and stuff like that, but what it has actually done to live industry, and whether that be musicians or plays or whatever stuff like that, but it's not my outlet anymore, but it literally was our outlet from the grind and some of our livings. It's how we make money. It's how you make. It's not your 9 to 5. It is. Sorry, it is your 9 to 5. And what I think worries me is that people might forget about the industry and how hard it is for people and just pass it off. I don't want that to happen. I want to see pubs packed out, bums back in seats. Last week we were meant to do that. Last week we were meant to do this. We didn't get to do it. You were at a show that had just got announced after the lockdown. When was it? It was like 24, 48 hours notice?
Well, what happened is the show was rescheduled. And then I actually wound up, it was Wayward Sons in Marquetta. I wound up going out to film. So they had me go to film it, and the Lyrical opened for him is a good friend of mine as well. They were, it was funny where like restrictions are like, this show sold out. But it was like 30, no. It was like 45, 50% capacity of the venue, not full capacity because everyone was seated. But yeah, no, it was a great show. And it was a bummer because the show could have been a lot more fuller without restrictions.
But at least you got to play. At least someone got to play.
The guys killed it, and it was great to watch them. And you know what's funny is I go and record them, and I support my friends here. Where, you know, a lot of musicians here, everyone comes up, goes to the show, great job, and they leave. Whereas in the States and places, people are getting footage. People are like, Karen's great like that. MMK, she gets camera out and footage, and just to capture the moment and share, because you share those moments. And then people at home who don't really go about it, they get reminded. And then it just takes one of them going back to a show and having that experience like you and me know, like most people miss out on it and forget that you go to a nightclub, you go to a bar with a DJ, and it doesn't have that synergy of seeing live music.
No, never will. And it never fucking will.
Bringing people together. It might get people into it. You might be into the sound, but there's not that synergetic vibration, that prosody of people coming together.
And might I just add, I am not talking about the people that take the time and effort to write electronic music.
This is playlisters.
I am
We're
yes,
talking playlisters,
yes,
not
and that's
DJs.
exactly
That
right.
should be clear.
I want to make that
Clear.
very
Playlisters,
fucking
not
specific.
DJ.
We are not talking about people that write electronic music. We are talking about people that sit there and play other people's shit.
Thanks for clearing that. Yeah, well, I call them playlisters because there really is a playlist. They play a song and maybe in between, and that's cool. You can make money. Don't get me wrong. I'm not bashing them either.
No. Look, by all means, you got to put food on the table. I don't give a fuck how you do it.
But that's the entertainment, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
When they say, I'm a musician, I'm a DJ. I'm like, do you write music? No. Do you make mixes? No. Do you do this? No. Or you do, I DJ, and I'm like, you playlist. You put a song on, and then you cue another song.
But you literally are, you literally are, in the essence of a word, a disc jockey. You just throw on other people's shit. Like,
yeah.
I'll call it out for what it is. I do not disrespect it in any, it may sound disrespectful, but
Dr. Dre was a disc jockey and he killed it. Back in the day.
Back in the day. But then Dr. Dre is a brand.
What I'm saying is he when you heard him back in the day, you ever seen the show with it's like Dr. Dre, it's like the whole series. And it's I remember it. We'll have to look it up. It's the story about Dr. Dre before they did Beats by Apple, and it's the guy that found.
So what before Death Row Studios and all that cool stuff and Death Row Records.
I gotta remember. Yeah, so it's the story of when he was starting out and something Ivy. I don't remember his name. He pretty much was the guy that took a song from
Oh, you cut
right
out.
here now. Um,
Yeah, but see, what it sounds like you're talking about is sampling. Do you know what I mean? I can understand you pinching a bit of someone else's song
Yeah.
and sampling because that's an art form. Because you've gone, hold on, I can take this piece of music, and I can make it into something of my own.
Well, and that's what he did. Like he did it so different, which is we're just talking about playlisting, and I'm talking like he took different speeds and different sounds and brought them together. You know?
Well, he literally brought. Well, what we're saying here is that he brought sampling into the
Yeah.
spotlight. And I got nothing but
Yeah.
respect for that because there's nothing more than I love than a good bit of sampling from something that I know. And then I think Pinau, my wife just showed me the new Pinau song with Elton John.
Yeah.
Man, it's fantastic. All it is just Elton John singing one song and then she just sings the other parts.